Well, the use of armour in portraiture has given rise to a vast literature. Most of the period in which this sort of armour was worn for practical purposes predates the rise of portraiture itself, and by the time of the Renaissance, the wearing of armour of this kind was in decline as guns and artillery changed the rules of warfare. But the medieval art of chivalry, if you like, the ideal of the knight in shining armour, persisted strongly as a courtly concern, and to use English examples, tournaments were an important part of the court culture of Henry VIII and of Queen Elizabeth, and Henry, Prince of Wales, the elder son of King James I, recently celebrated in a beautiful exhibition in London, was a devotee and accomplished practitioner of all the arts of chivalry, and this is one of the beautiful armours made for him at Greenwich. His younger brother Charles was clearly intent on projecting himself in the same knightly guise. So art historians wonder, does the wearing of armour in a portrait symbolize masculinity, power, military valour, or belligerence? A common mistake in the literature of interpretation is to distinguish between the armour in a portrait, which is taken to symbolize, say, military might, and the other trappings of opulence, such as a crown or a rich canopy. Actually, the armour was almost always the most costly thing in one of these portraits. So one of the reasons someone might have chosen to wear armour in a portrait was actually to display their wealth as much as their might. Leone made a number of portraits in bronze and marble of Charles V, all of them based on sittings which the emperor gave him in Brussels in 1549. Writing about the bust of Charles in Vienna, which was made for the emperor's chancellor, Cardinal Granvella, and completed in 1555, John Pope Hennessy, another name to conjure with here, called it a kind of hieratic reliquary bust, composed of an ideal head and a related allegory beneath. Well, he certainly captured the strangeness of this image, and recalling the portrait we saw of Charles a moment ago as a younger man, this is certainly an ideal head. But I'm not sure that reliquary is quite right. After all, the portrait is not posthumous. It was made for the sitter himself, and however religious the emperor was, he was no saint.